Hello, today I'm going to review Steven Spielberg's new film, Bridge of Spies. Now, of course, I am a huge fan of Steven Spielberg. He is a wonderful director and producer. He's good at making both entertaining films and drama films. I like all the movies he directed except 1941. While 1941 is not the worst movie I ever saw, I just think that 1941 is Steven Spielberg's most embarrassing movie he ever directed. To tell you the truth, I did not see Munich because my parents, my uncle, and my aunt told me that it was too dark, violent, depressing, and very controversial. However, none of my family members saw that film. Anyway, Steven Spielberg has finally come back to direct another movie, and this time it's a drama movie that took place in the Cold War. Interestingly, the drama movies he directed like Empire of the Sun, Schindler's List, and Saving Private Ryan took place in World War II. War Horse took place in World War One. Both Amistad and Lincoln took place during the time of slavery, and now his next drama movie is called Bridge of Spies, a drama film that took place in the Cold War. Originally it was titled State James Place, but they decided to call it Bridge of Spies to make it more interesting. Now that I saw it with my uncle, what do I think of it? This film is fantastic and a wonderful movie that took place in the Cold War. Now I'm going to tell you why I think this way. The story of this film is based on a true story about the 1960s U-2 incident during the Cold War. It starts off in 1957 in Brooklyn, where Rudolf Ebel was arrested by the FBI agents because he is a Soviet Union spy. But a man named James B. Donovan was asked by his partner to defend Rudolph, the Soviet Union spy. So James had decided to settle Rudolph's trial in court to say to both the judge and the juries that he is not guilty and save him from execution. When two American men, both the pilot and an economic graduate student, were captured by the Soviet Union in Germany, James and the men who comes to help James had decided to go to Germany and negotiate with the Soviet Unions. I think the story was very well told, especially was written by the Coen brothers. Also, this is the second time that Spielberg and the Coen brothers worked with each other after the 2010 remake of True Grit. However, there are a few scenes in the film that were a bit dragged. Very interesting that the Coen brothers had wrote the story for Unbroken last year. This is the second movie based on a true story that the Coen brothers had written. The special effects in this film I think are very impressive. The cities of Brooklyn and Germany are very stylized because it fits the mood during the time of the Cold War. Boy was it snowy in Germany. The costume designs and the designs of the cars are great. I also like the CGI airplane and sky. For the plane scene in the film was very intense. Now for the acting, directing, music. Let's start with James B. Donovan, played by Tom Hanks, one of my favorite actors. Wow, he did a brilliant job playing that character. James is a lawyer who has a wife and 3 children who wanted to help Rudolph to be free and do some negotiation with the Soviet Union. This is the 4th time Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg had a collaboration with each other after Saving Private Ryan, Catch Me If You Can, and The Terminal. Now moving on to Rudolph Abel, played by Mark Rylance, who he will be working with Spielberg again in the BFG next year. He did an awesome job playing that Soviet Union spy who was smart, calm, and is good at painting. Everybody in this movie did a splendid job as well. Steven Spielberg, I think, did an outstanding job directing this movie. He's really good at making movies that are very realistic. As for the music for this film, this is the 4th Steven Spielberg movie, along with Duel, Twilight Zone the movie, and The Color Purple, not to have John Williams do the music for this film, because John Williams is too busy doing the music for the new Star Wars movie coming this Christmas, but he will come back to work with Spielberg again on the BFG. Now this time, the music for this film was composed by Thomas Newman, who did music for films like Scent of a Woman, The Shawshank Redemption, American Beauty, The Green Mile, Finding Nemo, Limited Snickers, A Series of Unfortunate Events, Cinderella Man, Wall-E, Revolutionary Road, Skyfall, Saving Mr. Banks, and he will make music for Spectre coming this November, and Finding Nemo sequel, Finding Dory, coming next year. I must say, the music for this film is very peaceful and thrilling. So overall, this is a wonderful spy drama movie. While this movie is not 100% perfect like Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan, I will definitely say I enjoyed this movie the same way I enjoyed Lincoln and Warhorse. Out of all the movies based on a true story I enjoyed this year, such as Straight Outta Compton, Everest, and The Walk, I love Bridge of Spies a lot more. If you're a fan of the spy movies and movies that took place in the Cold War, go give it a watch. So I give this movie 4.5 out of 5 nuclear bombs.